Houston Real Estate Radio starts right now.
Welcome back. You're listening to Houston Real Estate Radio. I'm your host, Shannon Register.
I'm James Brown.
And today's segment is sponsored by The Perfect Light. They offer outdoor landscape lighting products and services and mosquito misting systems. If you'd like to add a little ambiance to your outdoor space this summer, you can find them online at theperfectlight.com. They offer free estimates, come right to your home. So that's a great service that they offer for you. And if you've got a real estate question that you'd like answered, you can give us a call at 281-882-8088. James and I'll be happy to answer any real estate questions that you have on the air. Next week, we're actually going to have a questions for you later in the hour that one of our listeners tweeted to us. And if you want to tweet us a question, you can use hashtag HRER. We'll be happy to answer that. All right, we've got a few of those buyer guides left as well, so if you would like one of those, let us know when you call and we can get that sent to you. We have Ryan McCord here in the studio with James and I. He's the president of McCord Development, and their main focus right now is Generation Park. Maybe you've heard of it. I know the Northwest Houston Chamber of Commerce has been talking about it a little bit, and there have been some things in the news about it. So it's kind of an interesting development. Thought you would find it interesting. So we brought Ryan on to tell us about it. So welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here.
So Generation Park, if somebody's never heard of it, what is it?
What is it? It is a 4,000 acre master planned. We refer to it as an enterprise park because in addition to just office or mixed use of retail and multifamily, we also have a significant industrial component. Part of it will be rail served. We have a foreign trade zone. And it's going to be the newest employment district and central business district developed in the Houston area.
So it's a lot more than a master plan community.
It's substantially more. In fact, when you hear people talking about master plan communities, it typically has a residential connotation. Outside of a very limited multifamily, we do not have a single family component to this. So this is not a residential development. This is a commercial development. It's meant to be the employment center for Northeast Houston.
So it's a more robust business park kind of a thing, more so than a master plan community.
Exactly. So we're focused on attracting Fortune 500 company headquarters, large-scale industrial facilities. Ultimately, we'll have a mix of hotel, retail, multifamily residential, and multi-tenant office as well.
How many people do you project to employ when it's all said and done?
That's so. I'll let you do some of the math. So between our first 3 users that we're working with right now at Generation Park that'll occupy just over 10% of the development, they will have a daytime population of 20,000. So if you extrapolate that for the full 100%, we're planning around a daytime population of 200,000 folks that'll be coming to Generation Park every day.
We talk a lot about the show, or we've talked a lot on the show about Exxon and some of the other companies moving to Houston. Do you think that the majority of these companies that will be moving into Generation Park are from Houston or coming from out of state where we can expect a lot more people buying houses?
So I think, it's interesting. The companies that we're talking to right now are already located in Houston. Okay. They typically are, they're calling us because they're out of space and they're growing rapidly. And most of their hiring is being done out of state. I think as Generation Park becomes more established, we'll become a go-to for relocating companies here. I think the Woodlands has been a great and obvious choice for a lot of those companies. It's very safe. It's very well established. And, a company coming from out of town gets it. And we're a brand new development just coming out of the ground. Right.
You think this is going to be the new epicenter for energy?
That's right.
The new energy corridor?
That would be nice. We definitely need the expansion. What other, you mentioned multifamily. Is there going to be schools involved, or is there going to be medical facilities? What else do you have on the plan?
So for a development of this scale, which again is at 4,000 acres, we're actually larger than downtown and the medical center combined. Wow. We're substantially larger than the commercial component of the Woodlands, or really any other district like that in Houston. And so what it will look like on build out will essentially be a reflection of the different product mixes you see in Houston today. So we will have a very similar ratio of office to medical to industrial to the other commercial property types that you see in the different districts around town. We do think that we will be have a very large medical center type presence in Generation Park that will serve Northeast Houston via the new 90 out to Crosby, as well as up the western shore of Lake Houston as well.
Draw us a mental map of kind of where Generation Park is located. For those people who aren't familiar, where are we talking about?
So, as you all both know, Houston has a couple of rings that go around it.
Yeah.
And, I-45 is kind of at the 12 o'clock position. And so Generation Park is about at the 1:30 position. So if you're in north of downtown, we're about 15 miles northeast of downtown. We're just east of Intercontinental Airport, about 10 minutes, and we're about a 10-minute drive north of the ship channel. So we're all, right on the northeast corner of Beltway 8.
Sounds like a convenient location for families who want to work out there.
It's very convenient. There's, today there's about 500,000 folks who live in that vicinity, and they all commute. There's very little employment in the Northeast Houston area, so they typically work in the Med Center, downtown, Greens Point, or actually out in the 249 or energy corridors.
How long have you been in business?
Well, McCord Development, we are actually celebrating our 40th anniversary. And
wow, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So McCord Development was founded by my father in 1973, and he is currently serves as chairman of the company. I've been with the company for 10 years, and I've been its president since 2008.
What other projects have you done around Houston, or is there anything we would recognize if you told us about it?
Well, if you come to our office in downtown Houston, it's a building that has a tremendous amount of history. We refer to it as One City Center. It was a building that my father acquired and removed the asbestos from it, did a major renovation on it, and brought waste management in as one of the anchor tenants. And it's the building is actually was originally constructed by Judge Elkins, who is the founder of the Vincent Elkins law firm here in Houston. So it's got a great history. And so that was and it's on Main Street, right in the 1000 block of Main Street in downtown. We still office there. We sold the building back in 2005. We also did the building where Centerpoint was an anchor tenant downtown Houston, and then a number of other projects in and around the city.
I like that in this Generation Park project that y'all have in the vision. I've watched the videos online, kind of seeing where you're going with it, and I like that you've kept so much of the greenery. It reminds me a little bit of the Woodlands, that you're keeping a lot of parks and places where people can continue to stay active, walking trails, and really enjoy the outdoors.
Well, good. The Woodlands is probably the best local playbook in order for us to rob a few pages from. That said, the Woodlands was commenced in the 1970s, and there was a much different philosophy on kind of live, work, play than there is today. And so what we're trying to do is look at the most recent chapters. We're also benchmarking Generation Park against developments that have been done in other parts of the country. And, we're thinking through, what transportation's going to be like 10 years, 20 years down the road.
That's good.
And trying to anticipate those concerns, and knowing that, I'll spend most of my professional life working on this development and will ultimately office out here. I can have a very selfish viewpoint and develop it in a way where it's a place that I want to go and that I want to be every single day of my working life.
Yeah.
So McCord Development plans to have a role from now to the very end. It's not a build it and then move on to the next project kind of situation?
Because of the scale of this project, it will take quite a few years to build it out, and we anticipate it may take, potentially a couple of decades to do so, and we plan to stick with it through the end. And, we are the sole owner of the project today, and are very well positioned to take our time and do it right.
That's fortunate.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
A lot of the homes around there do feed into the Humble School District, and some of the great neighborhoods around there. You've got Summerwood, Fall Creek, shores of Lake Houston. It's very close to Lake Houston. I would think a lot of people are going to be wanting to live up on Lake Houston to work there.
Yes, ma'am. There's been, there's about 3,000 acres of undeveloped residential land to the north of Generation Park, and we actually refer to that as our residential runway. So if a company is relocating to Houston, or they're hiring substantial numbers of folks into Houston, there are new master plan communities going in almost adjacent to us where those new employees can buy homes in the area. And when you look at the other more mature commercial districts like the Energy Corridor, the Woodlands, or downtown or West Chase, if you're a new company or if you just moved to Houston because you've been hired to work at one of those companies, the residential in those areas has already been built out, and you're typically going to best case scenario be starting off with a 20-minute commute. At Generation Park, we have what we think is going to be 7 to 9 years of residential inventory that is literally 5 minutes up the road, either Westlake Houston Parkway or the future Lockwood going to the north of Beltway 8.
Very good. Well, it sounds like a place that a lot of our listeners need to check out that are thinking about moving in the future.
Well, they should go to generationpark.com and check it out.
That's right. All right, Ryan, we are going to take a quick commercial break, hear a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.